This is Raj. Raj and his family lived in Bangalore, India, where he was a software engineer, and his wife Priti practiced psychology. Recently, they moved to Silicon Valley, California, on Raj's H-1B visa. This move opens new possibilities for Raj's family, but Priti currently lacks work authorization in the United States, leaving her career stagnated. Raj hopes his employer will extend his visa before it expires in 3 years so he can pursue permanent residency. That would let him sponsor his family's visas for a more stable future without depending on any employer. If the visa extension is denied, however, they will likely return to India. Even then, Raj's experience in Silicon Valley will likely strengthen his prospects in Bangalore, which stands among other global IT centers like Shenzhen and Tokyo. Many H-1B holders face similar hurdles: high rejection rates when switching employers, and the constant risk of losing legal status if laid off. These pressures discourage job changes and restrict professional growth. Opportunities to work abroad on H-1B visas also reflect existing social and economic privileges. In India, for example, they often go to those who already enjoy advantages in education, caste, or class. While merit does matter, many who reach tech hubs like Silicon Valley often come from relatively privileged backgrounds. Raj's story highlights both the personal benefits and systemic challenges of working abroad, and perhaps reminds us that global mobility is shaped by overlapping privileges at home and abroad. Raj's story echoes the experiences of many economic migrants and reveals the influence of powerful systems. Rather than narrowing Raj's journey to career moves, we may look at the broader context and see the broader structures that shape his life. These may include government bodies, immigration regimes, and large corporations, all determining the terms of Raj's movement, employment, and resource access. Employers also operate within these systems, but they have influence over job roles and opportunities. Although Raj's story makes these structural and bureaucratic frameworks more visible, they limit autonomy for many around the world, migrant or otherwise. Recognizing these frameworks helps us avoid reducing Raj's story to professional or bureaucratic hurdles alone. Yet Raj's life is not defined solely from the top down. Like everyone, he turns to family and community networks to retain a degree of agency and resilience. Such connections help him handle restrictive policies and limited options. Multiple layers, meaning political and legal roles, family ties, cultural norms, and economic demands interact in real ways. For example, visa constraints hold back Raj's career while also limiting his wife Priti's ability to use her professional credentials. Though some transnational programs aim to expedite recognition for professions like psychology, these remain limited. In that spirit, consider how various scholars might interpret the situation from different disciplinary vantage points. An anthropologist might study the informal networks Raj and Priti rely on, including community connections that provide resilience in the face of systemic barriers. A human geographer might study how migration reshapes spatial dynamics, examining Silicon Valley as a hub that attracts global talent. A political sociologist might study the power relations embedded in such systems, showing how employers act as intermediaries of state control, extending power over employees like Raj and influencing family dynamics through economic and legal constraints. A global labor scholar might study how systems like H-1B exemplify globalized labor exploitation, connecting Raj's experience to broader trends in international labor migration and corporate practices. A family psychologist might study how Migration-related dependencies affect personal relationships and mental health. Interdisciplinary approaches, however, not only offer multifaceted insights into complex phenomena, but also demonstrate how Raj's story is part of deeply interconnected systems of authority, economy, and culture primarily. By bridging these scholarly viewpoints, we may gain insights into how individuals operate within complex institutions, policy constraints, career aims, and family responsibilities do not exist in isolation. They shape one another in meaningful ways. This integrated view shows how regulations, corporate practices, professional barriers, and social norms intersect daily. Recognizing these interconnections deepens our understanding of how the world truly operates, reminding us that our social, economic, and political realities are shaped by the continual interplay of these forces. Raj's experience reflects a broader global labor landscape shaped by power imbalances, dependency, and constrained agency. Comparative cases highlight these systemic forces. For instance, Raj's reliance on his employer under the H-1B visa echoes the struggles of Walmart suppliers worldwide, forced by corporate dominance to accept low-margin contracts. In both scenarios, overarching policies and market pressures create dependency, favoring powerful actors while restricting workers and smaller firms' flexibility. Likewise, maquiladora workers in northern Mexico, mostly women, face strict discipline and meager wages driven by global capital flows and investor demands. Much like Raj, whose bargaining power is curtailed by visa constraints, these factory workers live under frameworks prioritizing corporate efficiency over labor autonomy. Parallel dynamics appear with migrant labor in the Gulf, where the kafala system ties workers to a single employer. Like Raj, they have limited power to switch jobs or negotiate conditions, demonstrating how legal and economic structures create dependence and curb agency. Personal and professional networks serve as survival strategies in these constrained systems. Raj probably leverages connections in Silicon Valley, similar to rural-urban migrants in India, relying on kinship ties for jobs and housing, or maquiladora workers, forming informal solidarity networks to combat exploitation. These networks operate as both support systems and avenues for collective resistance. In all, viewing Raj's situation alongside examples from Silicon Valley, northern Mexico, and the Gulf reveals recurring themes of power, dependency, and resilience. Placing individual stories in this wider mosaic reveals how global labor dynamics shape human lives, often unequally. After all, power and authority anchor every society, and people everywhere negotiate and maneuver within these forces to secure autonomy and opportunity.